Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and welcome to another episode of Coaching Conversations. And I wanted to make you aware of something very cool that we're doing on a subscription basis, and we'll put a link in each one of our episodes. But every Wednesday, we're going to be doing what we call an audio podcast workshop. That workshop will be roughly about 14 to maybe 20 minutes per episode, with each month having a theme from a coaching model, using feedback strategically, to coaching self-awareness, and so on. So if you could look in the body or in the content description of each episode, and you will see a link where you can join this subscription. These are literally 4 workshops every month, teaching specific strategies to address a particular area of workplace coaching, as it relates, again, to things like awareness, motivation, teamwork, and what have you. Here's the cool thing. It's only $10 per month, and each month you will get a handout that we will follow along with. So we also give you a tool for you to take notes as we go through each episode. We hope you'll check it out.
Conversations absolutely affect the workplace. Now, when you think about conversations and you think about everything we say, let's be candid. In the last 2-3 years, even though the pandemic in theory should have brought us together, let's be candid. To a large extent, it's torn us apart. Get a Democrat and a Republican together and tell them to have lunch and a calm conversation and share their views. It probably won't happen. How often, and I've used this example sadly for 28 years, when a boss says, "Employee, come into my office, I need to talk to you." The employee till this day typically has the response of, "Uh-oh, what did I do wrong?" Now, on the other hand, we have not been taught, we have not been educated on the value of feedback and teamwork in our traditional school settings. We didn't take classes in high school or college of how to seek and accept feedback. So what happens when 2 people get together is we don't calmly, rationally, logically interpret what somebody is saying and think about it from a perception standpoint. People often get defensive. Let me share a quick story with you. A young man just left one of our client organizations, and he was in our leadership program at this client site. And I had bumped into him about 2 weeks after he had given notice and was no longer working. And he just said, I got to tell you, they just had it out for me. I said, who? He said, the whole management team. And I looked at him and I said, I have to be really candid with you. A lot of that management team started after you were at the company, correct? And he said, yeah. And I said, so let me understand something. I said, now calmly just think about this and don't react right away. And what I was doing, everybody, is I was controlling the pace of his reaction. I was giving him pause for thought. I said, is it my understanding that they all took a job in the eventual introduction to you with their pursuit of coming after you? And he stopped. I said, don't say anything. Just think about what you said. He said, well, that's the way I felt. And I said, hold on a second. You just accused a whole management team of coming after you. I gave you pause for thought. And then you said, that's the way you felt. I said, why do you feel that way? He said, well, I felt like I was singled out. And I said, well, I'm going to give you some feedback because you came up to me, you asked me how things were going, we're having a conversation, and I'm cool with this if you are. And he nodded. I said, when you're in meetings, honestly, cut the BS. Honestly, how do you think people perceive you? He said, well, I think people think I'm arrogant. And I'm not. I said, I agree with you. I don't think you're arrogant. Yet I do see how people can perceive you that way. I said, why is that? He said, I don't know. I said, do you know every meeting, every session I've had with you, you've looked at your phone the whole time. But according to you, the whole management team has it out for you. I'm wondering if the whole management team senses that you're dismissive of everything they say. He said, how can you say that? I said, because you always have your phone out. I said, you manically said the whole management team. I said, literally every meeting, in person and virtual, I have seen you with your phone, constantly looking at it while other people are talking. I'm wondering if a lesson here is that you've kind of put a target on your own back. You kind of sent a message to them, maybe unwillingly, then I don't want to really listen to what you have to say. Remember, your intent does not equal their perception. So again, when I had this conversation, I controlled it. And at the end, he said, yeah, I know. I got that feedback in my exit interview. And I said, you're a smart guy. You and I had a great conversation about some private stuff one night. Remember after class? He said, yeah. I said, that was the only time, the first time I really saw you. And I have to tell you, I've always liked you. You have one of the greatest personalities. You're intelligent. You're smart. Why doesn't that person come out more? He said, I don't know. And all of a sudden the edge came off. The persona came off. See, I practice this stuff. I don't do it perfectly. Yet I knew if I had jumped on his bandwagon, I would have done him a disservice as a friend. Meaning, yeah, they really had it out for you. All right, have a good day. And got through the conversation. And that's what a lot of us do. I comfortably challenged him. I removed his emotional interpretation. I removed his manic response. Conversations matter. What we say matters. Now, the next time he goes into an interview, I think he's in a better mindset to do a better job, to present himself and the value he truly brings to the table. Good luck, everybody. Thank you for listening to another episode of Coaching Conversations by Tim Hagen and Progress Coaching. Now, our company is always coming out with new and innovative solutions to help leaders coach their employees. And recently, we just created a new service called Coach to You, where leaders can pick and choose topics and assign 7 to 21-day programs for employees to learn and, more importantly, apply actions and then reflect and share what they're going to do going forward as a result of the learning. It's called Coach to You. We're literally bringing coaching to your employees. If you're intrigued, we'll have a link in each one of our episodes where you can get more information. And again, thank you so much for listening to another episode.